I would like to personally thank Reverend Sean for those inspired words. So, while we were walking up this hill, I hope you guys took a moment to look at the Capitol as we were walking towards it. Though the hill was steep and it was wet and cold, it was kind of hard to get here, but we made it. Some people on this road to life don't have it so easy, And that's what these bills are for. Life sucks sometimes, and we need all the help we can get. I have a couple of friends that want to speak and let you know about the opportunities that they've had in their lives, the sad experiences that they've felt, and why these bills mean so much to them. Why it's important that our legislators vote to approve these bills, because there are people, there are faces out there that need this help, that need protections, that need these blessings from our fellow man. I'd like to introduce Joni Weiss. She's beautiful and gorgeous.
I don't know about that, but thank you. I'm sorry. I was a little late, so I kind of snuck into the crowd coming up the hill. So I didn't have as far to walk. But I'm Joni Weiss, and I'm a transgendered Utahn. I was born and raised here, and I am also, like Reverend Sean Dennison, I'm a person of faith. I was raised to believe in the values of truthfulness and honesty and being true to yourself. However, I kept a very dark secret for most of my life. And I also prayed that God would take this away from me so that I could live a normal life. And somewhere along the way I realized that this was not something that I was being punished by God for being. This was a blessing by God. I believe that I'm blessed and transgendered, that the experiences that I'm going through have made me a better person. Going through my transition for the last 2 years, I've learned the value of being true to myself, to being who I am. And I've learned along the way that instead of being discarded or thrown away or rejected by my family, by my closest friends, and by my spiritual path, instead I was embraced. I was accepted more for being who I was, for being who I am now, than I was for before I came out of the closet. But I'm here to talk about these bills that are in front of the House, in front of the legislature, and their importance. I'm here because I've had all the support that has enabled me to be out. I'm able to be out because I have not been heavily discriminated against. I've had some discrimination, but not a whole lot. My employer is one of the most supportive companies of transgender and gay people. I've been very lucky. But for most of the people in my situation are not so lucky. And there aren't very many, because of the discrimination and harassment and violence, potential for violence that people face, there aren't many that would be able to stand up here. So I'm standing here for those who can't speak for themselves. I'm here because I can. They're the most transgender people. They are in fear of losing their jobs, of losing their house, losing their home, losing their method of livelihood. And so it's really important to me that these bills be passed. I didn't really prepare anything to say because I didn't know I was speaking till this morning. So, but I want to urge everybody who's here And there are so many here. I'm surprised with all the rain that there's so many who are here, and that's wonderful. And for all the people who are here and all the people who are not here, the thousands more who are not here, those who are in rural Utah that can't make it up here, those who are in Delta and Moab and Cedar City and Roosevelt and Vernal and those places who can't make it here. We have brothers and sisters in all of those places and allies in all of those places who couldn't make it. But if they could all make it, we would have covered this hill. So please, every one of us has the opportunity to be active in this. I don't want to call it a fight, because a fight involves a clenched fist. I want to call it, it is a struggle, but we need to reach out to our legislators with open hands, offer our hands to our legislators, educate them, call them, write them, email them, visit them, and tell them what it means to you for these bills to be passed, because it's really critically important. People's lives are dependent on these bills. It's very important. Thank you.
Joni Weiss. And I'd like to introduce Thomas. His wonderful cape.
How's everybody doing?
Great!
I actually think I might be in the wrong place. I was just walking down the street and got kind of swept up, so, but I guess I could say something. As you said, my name's Thomas. I'm from Sacramento, California. And I'm an open bisexual. Like Michael Stipe said, I'm an equal opportunity sexual leech. So, but the reason I'm speaking here today is because a couple months ago I was working for a large hospital chain in California, where, as we all know, these rights are already pretty much instilled, and California is pretty much a liberal state in the union. But I was fired for being a bisexual. And I was very open in the movement out there. I was on the news, that's where they found out. And no more than 3 days later I was fired. So I'm just kind of speaking here on that right now. It's important, it really is, because we're kind of a voice that's not being heard right now. And we're coming up, ever since Proposition 8 in California, it's been kind of a amazing thing to see how many people are stepping up. We haven't seen this kind of movement since Harvey Milk in the 1970s. How about a cheer for Harvey Milk? I think we wouldn't be here today, or at least not where we are. But it's difficult. It's not easy to stand here, especially in a state like this. These rights aren't afforded. It's hard enough in California, where it's not that much of a faux pas to be gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender, but it's still hard. And these rights, the first step to social acceptance is our government accepting it. And that's what we need to convey to our legislators here in Utah. I mean, I've only been here for 2 weeks, but I plan on staying in Utah for a long time, so I want to see my fellow brothers and sisters in the movement have the same kind of acceptance and joy that I did in California, even though I was fired. But I think it's important for us all to be out here. I'm really happy to see, it's inspirational for me to see this kind of turnout in Utah, which I kind of had a misconception about being from California, that it was kind of a state where people didn't really care about gay rights. That's not true, obviously. So, how about we let the legislators hear our voice right now and kind of let them know that we're here. I hate to be that guy, but can we get a "we're here, we're queer, get used to it"? Okay, no, we'll do it later. So, yeah, it's inspirational. It's to see everybody out here. It's really inspired me, made me realize the fight's not dead here in Utah. Yeah. In fact, it's just being born. Yeah. And we're all here doing it. And we're giving them hope. So I'll just close out with the words of Harvey Milk. You got to give them hope.